Okay, so got the generator running on propane at the moment, and uh, I've I've got like 95 hours on this thing right now, and it's been fantastic. I love it. I got the Hutch Mountain propane kit, and again, same thing, fantastic. I love it. It's awesome. But I was running this thing the other night, just pulling a couple hundred watts off of it, not very much. Um, and I got to thinking, I was like, well, what about running this thing off of 1 pound propane? Like, of course, if you pull very much wattage off it, or just, in half an hour or whatever, it's going to start frosting up the bottle, and then it's going to reduce the pressure in the 1 pound bottle because it's going to start getting really cold, and so it's obviously not going to run as well, or at least for as long. As it will on a bigger tank, but will it work? You would think that it would. And ran it the other day, just pulling a couple hundred watts off of it. I didn't actually put a meter on it, but I was just, I don't know, probably 400 watts off it, something like that. And I actually got an hour and a half of time out of it until it frosted up this bottle to the point where it wasn't, where it didn't have enough pressure in the bottle. There was actually still fuel in the bottle, but it just was too cold for it to continue working. And this is one of those Flame King refillable 1 pound bottles. And yes, I know you can refill the standard bottles, but this one here has got a little bleed screw on the top of it, which makes it really, really easy to do. And Flame King's got a really kick-ass little refill valve too that makes life easy. But got the hose set up on here because I want the 1 pound bottle in the vertical position so that it's pulling vapor off the top as opposed to liquid. And then this regulator here, there's a arrow on here. This is intended to work in the upright position as well. So, if you were to take this guy and just screw it onto the bottle with this little adapter here, then it'd be sitting horizontally. And there's a little check ball, or at least it sounds like there's a little check ball in here anyways, that I would assume is intended for a flow limiter. Like for some damn reason, if this hose were to, break off or whatever, that it will limit the amount of flow that will come out of here. And so I think, and we'll try it here, I think that if we turn this regulator upside down while it's running, it'll actually probably cut the fuel flow to the engine. But yeah, I got a 9-inch grinder that will plug into here and see if it'll run on the 1 pound bottle. And then I also have a roughly 1500 watt heat gun that we will plug in and see if we can frost up this bottle in a couple minutes. My experience using this thing, it usually takes a couple pulls to get it started, but then it runs just fine. And in my experience anyways, it actually runs smoother on propane than it does either automotive gasoline or aviation fuel. And maybe that's just a carburetor adjustment thing or what, I don't know. Not to say that it runs like shit on gasoline, it just is smoother on propane. But anyways, so got the ignition on, and we'll see if it lights up nicely here. There's a little primer button on the back side of this regulator. There we go. So, idling away on a little 1 pound propane bottle. Like I was saying, I got an hour and a half on one of those the other day, which I thought was pretty incredible. But let's see how it does pulling more power off of it. So, 9-inch Milwaukee grinder. I can actually feel this cooling down already. Well, I'll be damned. I thought that for sure was going to kill it, turning it upside down like that. The regulator, I mean. This bottle is cool just in that little bit of time. It's obviously not like frozen or nothing, but, you know, it probably wouldn't run for very long like that until you, you know, until this became just a ball of ice. But I think it's really cool that it works. And yeah, I think it's really cool that it works. But you can see there's an arrow on here that says mount up, and yeah, you can't hear it, but when you purge it, you can hear that there's like a, and again, I haven't torn into this and I don't fully know how this works or anything, but it sounds like there's a little ball in there. And so I figured that this wouldn't work upside down, but it seems like maybe it will. And maybe it'll work just setting it up like so, just like that with the bottle vertical, because it'll frost up this regulator real fast if the 1 pound bottle is on its side. But yeah, let's see if this works. Well, so there you go. Learn something new every day. That apparently seems to work actually pretty well. Um, Obviously, it doesn't like to stand up on its own, but I didn't think that that regulator was going to work on its side like that. But obviously, it sure seems to. Um, and like I was saying, if you're, you know, doing like that, they're pulling 1,500 watts off it. It it wouldn't run for very long until it frosts this thing right up. But I think it's really cool that it just like works at all. And so all I have here is just this little adapter here that converts from the 1 pound thread to the oh shit, actually it's got internal threads in there too. Yes, kitty. Oh my god, you're so talkative. But yeah, anyways, this little fitting here that just screws on top of the bottle. The one that I have here doesn't have any kind of like check valve in it or anything, so once you screw it on the bottle, it starts purging the 1 pound bottle. Or it doesn't have a valve, not check valve, but it doesn't have a valve in this side here. So you have to screw this side in first and then put the 1 pound bottle in here. And now, obviously if you were, this is not like a good choice for a primary fuel source, because for one, even with these guys here, even if you're filling them yourself, and of course you can fill just the regular propane bottles too, but even if you're filling it yourself, you're not going to get very much time out of these. And if you're buying pre-filled propane bottles and then just discarding them when you're done, these fucking things, I haven't bought them in years, but they're a couple bucks a piece. So it would be a incredibly expensive way to run this thing. But I really like that it's just another option. This guy here, you can easily switch between propane and gasoline with this Hutch Mountain kit that's on here. And so obviously we were just running on propane right there. And then just simply by putting the cap on here, because otherwise it'll suck air through the propane connection there. But you put the cap on there, turn the vent valve on top of the fuel tank, turn the fuel valve on, and choke it. And it's probably going to take a couple pulls to get the gasoline into the carburetor. Well, or not. And then there it is running on gasoline. So it these generators are really, really kick-ass. Just in the fact of, how small they are, how quiet they are, how relatively powerful they are for their size and everything. You can run, with few exceptions, almost anything that'll run off of a 15 amp circuit off of one of these generators. Most of the time, if it's, like a window AC unit or something like that, it'll like struggle to start it, and you typically have to turn the auto throttle off for it to be able to start it. I've got a 110 volt air compressor that this will not start, but you can see runs a 9-inch grinder or heat gun or any of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, with this propane kit, not only is it really cool, I find, that you can run off of a normal propane tank, but with this little adapter here, then you can run off a little 1 pound tank. And then when you get the kit from Hutch Mountain, they sent you this little keychain deal, and what it is the jet or orifice or whatever you want to call to run off of natural gas. So many different options for powering this little generator. And then you know, of course, too, just like standard, you can get the fuel caps for these things to, you know, hook it up to, hell, if you wanted, a 55-gallon barrel of gasoline and run it that way. So, what are you doing, kitty? Jesus. Getting into shit? But, yeah. So, cool. Glad that I tried running that regulator on its side there. I didn't think that that was going to work, but, you know, don't know until you try. But, yeah, kick-ass little generator, kick-ass little propane kit from Hutch Mountain. Absolutely love both of them.